I'm Lucie. I'm French. I'm 33. I'm a travel writer and an aspiring actress and scriptwriter.
Rikki-Lee, hi, how are you doing?
Hi, good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well indeed. Whereabouts are you at the moment?
So I'm in Dubai at the moment. I'm from Australia originally, and normally when I'm there, I live in Melbourne. But I've been in Dubai for almost 4 years now.
I've been a writer for about 10 years. So writing has been my main creative outlet for these years. So basically I was traveling for 7 years. So travel was my anchor, I guess, and where I found all my inspiration and imagination.
It's been difficult. There hasn't been any work, obviously, because I work freelance. I have a few companies who I work with pretty regularly, but as soon as restrictions started to come in from mid-March, a lot of entertainment was the first thing to close down. And I do a lot of private events in homes, and gatherings of people was shut down straight away. We had a long period where we had to apply for a permit if we wanted to leave the house at all, even for groceries or anything like that. And you were only granted a permit every 3 days, and you were only allowed out for a maximum of 3 hours. And that was just to get the necessities. So it's been quite a roller coaster.
I was just traveling, moving around, meeting people, seeing colors, listening to sounds, and just taking it all in and then putting it all back in my writing.
The first month it was just kind of surreal to be at home, especially with my partner as well. He works at a theme park, and he's usually got about 60-hour week. So I don't see a lot of him when he's working, but now we've just been home together all the time. And so the first month was just good quality time. And then the second month we started to go a bit crazy. And now that everything's opening up again, it's weird. It's that new normal sort of mentality, isn't it?
In the last few years, hiking and walking has been my main, the way I found inspiration. So I went hiking for hours on end in the cities, in the countryside, in mountains, and the silence, the nature was just I took it all in. It became me somehow, and I could put it back on paper after.
It feels normal again now that we can kind of go out for meals, or we can go to the beach again now. It feels like normal, but there's still restrictions, and we have to wear our masks all the time and that sort of thing. It's really weird, but yeah, work still nothing.
The pandemic and the lockdown really helped that somehow, because I didn't have to do all the daily life things and meeting people, and I could really go inward and be by myself and be really in the silence, even at home. So I could really slow down way more than I used to. And I wasn't traveling anymore. I wasn't hiking so much, because in France we weren't allowed to walk so much. We had 1 hour per day to go outside in the nature, but just sitting on my window and looking at clouds and the sky and birds and seeing the world so slow was really helpful.
I was actually really glad to be reminded that I had my Star Now account, because that was a good way to reach out and make some new connections and keep myself busy in that way, talking to people from all over the world. I'm going to be in a podcast in August with a guy from the UK and all sorts of things like that. So that's been good to kind of make sure I don't lose the performer side. It's so easy to get lazy, especially when you can't leave the house. But I've been doing a lot of self-recordings for online submissions. And even I'm really interested in theme park work. So there have been a few online submissions for the Disneylands in Asia. And they'll always have really specific, learn this script or film in this way. So I've done a lot of learning of monologues and self-taping those, and you know, I was dressed up as a mime last week doing a new script and a new character. So it hasn't been too bad.
I started to act during lockdown. I took a beginner's acting class. So it was all online. It was supposed to be in real in Edinburgh, but it ended up being online. So that was quite difficult at first, to be online, and how to create together and act scenes was a bit tough, I guess. But again, the silence and being by yourself, but also being connected online, made it interesting.
I've really made use of Zoom in this time, and it's been, you know, the sort of thing where people that I have, for whatever reason, not made an effort to really connect with, and then because of everything that's gone on, everybody's like, we should catch up and we should have a Zoom chat. And, you know, like the girls that I was training with in Melbourne when I was doing my dance training, I connected with a bunch of them a week or so ago, and, you know, we're all in different countries now and haven't seen each other for years, and it's really good to catch up with old friends and yeah, making new connections.
And it's also, I guess, about the boredom. Boredom is really important to get ideas. And I guess in our hectic lives and doing many things and being actors, writers, entrepreneurs, and many things at the same time, you don't get the boredom. I was never bored before.
I've done a lot of these kind of interviews with people in the industry, you know, yeah, speaking with various people about their projects, and that's been really cool too.
Just sitting on my bed and not knowing what to do, and allowing it, just being there and watching my ceiling, and from there the ideas come. So it may take a long time sitting around doing nothing, but we don't have this time usually. So that was also really interesting to allow boredom and allow more ideas to come.
It has been a really good opportunity for those sort of things, to expand on skill sets and look for new opportunities. And like you say, you normally wouldn't have time, especially with work. You know, it's so easy to fall into the habit of just, like, you know, what do they call it, the hamster wheel, and you just like get as many jobs as you can and go out and make the money and put it in your envelope and keep going, and you don't have a chance to try new things or to sit down and have a chance with your own ideas creatively, you know, when it's all about getting the money in, isn't it?
If people were in a good mental space, because that was also something difficult to deal with. If you have a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear, it's hard to be creative and it's hard to connect to what you have to say. But if you were in a good mental space and allowing emotions to come, like emotions you don't have time to experience as well, emotions are really important for me, and that's what I want to do. I want to share emotion, whether it is writing or acting.
There's been a lot of that online about media consumption, you know, asking people to think about how many more films they're watching in this time, and where do you think these people come from, all the people that are on Netflix. You know, we're the ones that are at home not working in this time, and like you say, it gets overlooked as a non-essential service, entertainment. Like, I really think entertainment is going to be one of the last things to come back, because everybody is focused on getting back to the office and yeah, even that sort of thing. You know, people that were forced out of their workplaces, so many of them still had the opportunity to do their work at home, which either meant then the companies that or both meant, I suppose, that the companies they were working for were able to still operate. People themselves were able to continue working and continue making money, which is great for all of those people. But yeah, it's difficult even when entertainment is such a huge part of everyone's lives.
Sometimes in the rush of life and with the mask you put on to be someone else in society, you don't allow the real emotions to come. Whereas if you're by yourself, sitting and allowing, I guess the true self comes out as well a bit more when you're by yourself. So that was also something important, to allow all emotions and take inspiration from that.
You know, even if you don't go to the theatre regularly and see a live show, or, you know, anything that people like that do, you turn the radio on and you're flooded with people from the entertainment industry, from the DJ and the presenters that are working to host the show, to the music that they're playing, the artists that created the music, to the voiceover people that work to make the advertisements, you know, like, and I think it is a little bit taken for granted because it's almost so ubiquitous. It's hard to pick it out as something that's made by people.
I believe artists are very important in a society. So I guess if we're in a survival mode, maybe we're not like the first responder and the first instant. But then if we are in survival mode for a few months, a few years, we need artists. So to escape, of course, but not only that, to reconnect to yourself. Acting and theatre is a mirror of life. That's how we explore life and what it means to be human and what it means to be alive without literature, without cinema. How life is all about. So I think it's about escaping, but it's also about reconnecting and exploring and understanding who we are.
A lot of, like you said, opportunity to develop ideas, not only with yourself, but with people from all around. You know, this is really, as much as it's always been that sort of, wow, what a small world, you know, it's very easy to stay connected with people when you're far away, or to like move overseas and run into someone who grew up a couple of cities away from you. You know, this has almost made the world smaller in a way, because people are making more of an effort to connect, whether that's because of just having the time and the boredom that inspires people to find new ways to entertain themselves.
If we reconnect to ourselves and we feel better because we know truly who we are, that's when we can make an impact in the world. Because if you're disconnected, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what are your values, what you can bring to the world, how can you bring value to the world? So that's also very tool to have an impact and to change the world. So right now we're facing a lot of different issues, or at least issues that arise and everyone see them. So we need to change things, and we need voices, and we need artists for that as well. It's the first step.
I think it could make some really great things, because it gives the creative people an opportunity to be creative in a different way, because they're being challenged.
Rikki-Lee, again, thank you. It has been amazing talking to you. And yeah, good luck with the podcast and good luck in Dubai.
Thank you so much for your time. I had fun.
Thank you. Lucie, thank you very much for today. That's been amazing.
It was really interesting talking to you and getting these ideas out, because when they stay inside as well, sometimes you don't grasp them properly. So yeah, thank you.